As a leader, you've carried beliefs from school, family, and faith communities, and they don't always line up with your purpose and who you are becoming. In my conversation with Obi Abuchi, founder of Core Leaders International and the author of the book Leading from Your Core, we move from life happening to you to life happening for you. Join us as we realign our beliefs with who we are becoming, our unfolding identity, so that we can lead from the inside out. Like this episode, subscribe to our channel, and DM Future to continue the conversation. My name is Arjan Visser, human centered futurist, and your host. Obi, welcome to the Alt Journey.
Thank you, Ian. Great to be part of this conversation.
I'm really curious. Like when we spoke earlier about that we need to realign or align, but I think realign what we believe of ourselves with who we are becoming. And when you dropped that, you triggered that question, I was fascinated. I would love to hear what you think, why it is so important to realign what we believe.
Yeah, so I've I've thought a lot, studied a lot about just the concept of belief and what we believe, right? So if we just pause there for a minute and think about the significance of a belief. If we would ask most of the people listening, watching this, what is a belief? Most people will end up saying it is an acknowledgement that something is true, regardless of whether it is. And then how do our beliefs evolve? Usually as kids at school or in church, mosque, right, wherever you are, significant figures say to you, hey, this is true, this is what to believe, and we hold on to that, and then we grow up with that worldview, with that understanding. And then sometimes that works for us and against us. And I think there's a journey that we've all got to go through to understand what's my purpose, what is my makeup as an individual, how do I add most value in this world, and are my beliefs lined up with that? Sometimes they are and sometimes they're not, and I think it's a journey of discovery to figure out these dreams that I have, the ambitions that I have. Do I think I'm capable of doing that or not? So those are some things. I mean, there's so much more I could say, but that's just to kick it off.
What I hear in your answer is a duality between what others say from me, all the way from what they recognize or what they acknowledge, and my dreams, my passion, how I'm wired. So I need to cross over somewhere from listening to the outside to the inside.
Yes.
To align. So that sounds easy.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. How do we make sense of the world? We make sense of the world from outside in. I don't give myself a name, right? You didn't come into this world and say, do you know what? I'm going to be called Ian, right? I didn't come into the world saying, hey, I'm going to be called Obi. No, there are from an identity perspective, there are things that are given to us, right? My name is Ian. My name is Obi. I go to school here. I speak this language. So there are things that are given to us. But then we go on this journey of discovering, I've got to then make sense of it. Someone says, hey, you're really fast. You could go to the Olympics. I don't, okay, could I? Hey, you're a great speaker. You should, or you're great at writing. You should write a book. And I think, does that resonate? And as we mature, there's an internal compass that we have to connect with and say, yes, this aligns with me. This aligns with what it means for me to be at my best. This is the contribution that most resonates with me. And so I think that's duality that you talk about is so key, where I'm hearing, but I'm making sense of it internally. And there's got to be this alignment of, yes, what I hear, that voice that says, Arjan, you could set up the Alt Journey podcast and speak into leaders, right? There's a voice inside, and then it's sort of validated to a degree externally, and then we live it out. And so that's really what I often talk about. Alignment is, there's got to be this, everything is coming together to say an internal yes.
Yeah. That internal small voice that resonates with the right external voices.
Yes.
That is the sweet spot to find, because then you are in the right place.
Yeah.
And I love it how you say that the name that is given to you shapes your identity. You even start to live up to the value of the name.
Absolutely.
And because it's called out of you, because identity is in a way spoken, but also the internal voice, the internal dialogue, if it doesn't come out, it doesn't shape who you are.
Yeah.
And then you have to find that place where that all works in harmony alongside each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is, it's worth to go after that.
It is. Yeah.
How do you find it?
Yeah, some could say that's the $64 million question, right? And I think this is where awareness comes in. You hear a lot of things, whether it's the hero's journey of, hey, I'm just living my life, and then I sense a call, an adventure, and maybe that is life happens. Maybe it's a challenge, maybe it's a difficulty, or maybe it's just a sense internally there's something more. And I just want to go back to something you said about even the power of a name, and how it can call something out of you. So my name is Obi, as you know. And when I was 7, that was just about the time when Star Wars was huge. And some of the kids at school would come to me and say, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they would make fun of me. I didn't like it at the time, until I discovered who Obi-Wan was and watched Star Wars. And I resonated with this idea that there's something bigger than us that calls us to more, that calls us to be the best version of ourselves, to connect with that best version of ourselves. And so over the years, I've fully embraced that. And especially with the leadership work that I do, Star Wars is a way of going into something deeper, something spiritual, something that is bigger than us. So for me, that resonates with my identity. And I just so happen to be called Obi. So I can say, hey, I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I know someone else. I know another Obi who doesn't like it. He hates being called Obi-Wan Kenobi, because that doesn't resonate with his inner identity, right? The true self that says, here's how I've been called to show up in the world and inspire leaders and use this amazing metaphor as a way of speaking into that. So I think it's this significance of, yes, you've got a name, but it's also discovering who you are on the inside and your makeup, and knowing how you live into that name. The way he will live into Obi is very different to the way I will live into it, because of who I am on the inside.
Yeah, and I think you said life is happening. So in the life stage where life is happening to you, it's shaped from the outside. When you're finding out, like 2 or 3 stages further in your development that life is happening for you,
Sure.
that internal discovery of who you are becoming, starts to align with your name, starts to
Hmm.
align with your desires,
Hmm.
and then hopefully that all comes together.
Mm.
Some call it the midlife shift. I
Yeah.
like to call it the midlife shift because if you fight it, it becomes a crisis. And it's not the most comfortable phase in life, but you start to see where those things, be, I would not say just alignment. There is a rhythm created,
Hmm.
there is a resonance, a frequency shaped. It's not born, but it's reshaped. It's
Mm.
and it's really worth to dive deep into self-awareness, life awareness, or soul
Mm.
awareness, because there is
Yeah.
an invitation that life is happening as you, where your unfolded identity starts to be really influential and impactful in a positive ways for the right people around you.
Yeah. 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 I like that idea of shift too. You mentioned this midlife shift. Someone recently said, I heard someone say midlife chrysalis, and I like that because it's that
So,
concept of the caterpillar being transformed into a butterfly, and we often that process requires breaking down the, if we go into the science of it, right, the
yeah, yeah,
biology,
yeah.
it's breaking down, but I think that's symbolic of letting go of old ways of thinking and believing to new ways of thinking and believing. And to the your opening question, just this idea of believing, when you become a butterfly, you've never operated as a butterfly before. All of your wiring, your experience, your way of showing up in the world is as a caterpillar. So your belief has to catch up with, oh, I can fly now. And we see this progression in life, whether that's even leaders, when you move to a next level. One of the reasons that a lot of leaders and individuals experience imposter syndrome or imposter phenomenon is that you're suddenly operating at a new level and you've never done it before. And so you're questioning, oh, do I have what it takes? Can I do this? And then you experience it, and then your belief catches up with, okay, I'm in this position and I do have what it takes. I can learn. I can make a difference, and I can even fail and learn from that, and that's okay. And so our beliefs often have to catch up with where we're at in life, and our calling as a butterfly operating in a new way and a new dimension.
That one, that brings so many memories back. What you just said, like
Wow.
we in the introduction, I used the word ego. That leaders, you can't live from your ego
Sure.
if you want to shape the future. And that example, if I describe ego, I always say it's not positive or negative.
Mm-hmm.
The
True.
ego, but the ego is something that is connected to what is for you repeatable, is predictable, and it has a huge drive for a
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed similar outcome. So if you transition, you cross over, you converge, or even the metamorphosis of the caterpillar into the butterfly,
Mm-hmm.
then it's the time to let the ego go, because the
Mm-hmm.
ego is, I know how to do it, and the
Mm-hmm.
butterfly doesn't know how to fly. It knows
Mm.
how to not trip over his multi legs, but now
Sure.
their multi legs are gone. So in a way, this is a great example for what it means that you step into something new. You
Mm.
focus on the clarity, the direction, and not on how and how to do things. and you have to let it go. You can't live a life as a butterfly with the mindset, the preparation of the caterpillar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your belief system, your mindset needs to realign.
Mm.
And some will go really deep into the metaphor. I'll say, like, there is a moment that there is actually, there's, it's all glue.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really undefined,
Yeah.
but then it becomes substance again. And that's how
Mm.
your what you believe, your faith,
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
mindset needs to
Hmm.
be, needs to become a new kind of substance
Yeah. Yeah.
that fits your purpose. So
Hmm.
there is a recalibration in a way of your purpose based on your unfolded identity.
Yeah. 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 And that's this is powerful because you ask the question, okay, how do you do this? How do your beliefs catch up? Part of it is you trust the process. And it's important that identity leads rather than the belief. Because if I let the belief lead, then I move from, if we stick with the caterpillar to butterfly metaphor, when I'm a when I become biologically a butterfly, if I'm letting my belief lead, then I'm not going to fly. I'm not going to go and pollinate the flowers. But if I let my identity lead, what and by identity, I'm talking about that sense of purpose, of calling. This is the difference that I I've sense I'm want to make in the world, in my organization, in my community, right? And I see some needs. I see what ways of we can leverage technology to advance science, right? Whatever it is. So that's the identity, a picture of the impact that you can have, and then allow your belief to catch up with it, because then that is so much more powerful. And you trust the process. And it may be that, yeah, but I don't know how to do this. But that's life. Life
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
we start off most things that are new not knowing how to do it, right? None of us come into the world knowing how to walk, knowing how to talk, knowing how to jump, knowing how to sing. I mean, we know how to scream and cry, but everything related to our identity unfolds and we grow into. And that's an important thing to embrace, that let identity lead and allow the beliefs to come into maturity as you live out that identity.
Yeah, that is a really valid point. Let your identity leave and not your beliefs. Your beliefs needs to catch up with who you are becoming.
Yeah, yeah.
The other way around, if you let your belief lead, we call it confidence, and you become super confident and overconfident, and your belief system is disconnected, not aligned.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what we see with so many people, that they sound so confident, but they're compensating in a way the misalignment with their identity.
Mm,
And we
mm,
all feel, smell when someone is overconfident,
mm,
but the confidence is part of the ego. It's
mm,
part of, I need to understand, I need to be in control, and I see where this leads to. So it all comes back, I think, to control. And
mm,
this is letting your identity lead. You can't control it. There
mm,
will be a new moment where you start to understand things that have happened.
mm,
So you get in the mode of, I'm not leading based on what I can control. I'm
mm,
leading based on that I'm learning who I
mm,
am becoming.
mm.
And your confidence is from trusting the process, because last time when I trusted the process and I didn't know
Yeah,
what I know
yeah.
now, it
Hmm.
worked out all fine.
Mm-hmm.
So the life lessons give you the confidence in the process
Mm.
and not the confidence in the outcome because you don't know the outcome yet.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
whole catching up of your belief system.
It's true. It is. And as you were speaking, there was another word that came to mind that I think for me, I desire more of, even above confidence, is peace. And the reason that I thought of that is often confidence is, wow, he's so confident, she's so confident, they know how to do it. And yeah, maybe. But peace says, yeah, I believe this is what I'm meant to be doing. Or peace is, I believe this is going to be okay. Peace is, wow, the storms are coming, but I'm going to trust the process. And it feels deeper, and obviously it's internal, but it's just deeper because I'm not phased, and also I can be at peace with my struggles, and so I'm not looking for perfection that sometimes can come across with confidence. It's they've got it all together. I haven't got it all together, but I'm
Mm.
at peace with who I am, with how I'm meant to show up, with the contribution that I can make. I'm at peace with my limitations, right? All of that is part of the journey of, if this is who I am meant to be as a leader, as an individual, I can be at peace with that and all that it means. So that just came to mind as you were speaking about
Well, speaking about
confidence.
peace, I love the transition from alignment to peace.
Sure.
And it's not just a belief about being at peace with it, because that's a bit of a phase of surrender because you
Yeah,
don't know what
I
comes
give
out of
up.
it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But I believe there is also in peace the element of rest.
So good.
And
Mhm.
and I think the confidence in last time it worked gives you some peace of mind, peace of heart. It gives you
Sure.
in a way rest. But I always connect rest to the word playfulness. It's
Mm.
rest and play. Because if
Mhm.
you are playful in discovering and in the process, it becomes joyful.
Mm.
And you find not just your identity and your updated belief system,
Mm.
you find fulfillment and joy,
Mm.
which is where your identity resonates to the outside
Mm.
with a interesting and attractive frequency.
Mhm.
Because if you're, well, I've never been playful in my life and sad at the same time. So
That's true. That's a good one.
so and being playful is attractive for people.
Yeah, yeah.
So that means that you can express your identity, your new gained identity, your new gained belief system. You can move forward in it, and
Mm.
you're able to share it with others.
Mm.
Because I think that's something really human, that we would love to share goodness with others.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love yeah, I love that idea of, yeah, we can it's I remember jumping on a train at here in the UK, and there was a baby crying as I walked past, and then the baby looked at me and stopped and was just fascinated. Oh, who's this individual? Blah 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 blah. And then after I walked past, the baby, it looked like, oh, they suddenly realized, what was I doing before that man walked past? Oh yeah, I was crying, and started crying again. And it's just that idea of, yeah, I can play, I can just often play is also about, I'm present to the here and now, and just the wonder of life, and so less likely to be sad, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's so good.
time goes really fast. I really enjoy this conversation, but I just want to give you a moment as well. How can people get hold of you and or get your book?
Sure, yeah. My book, Leading from Your Core, is the two places. You can get it on Amazon, depending on where you are in the world, or you can get it from our company website. So www.coreleaders.co.uk. So core, CORE, leaders.co.uk. So that's also how people can get in touch with me as well, or on LinkedIn. Just look up Obi Abuchi, Obi the Jedi, Abuchi. There, yeah, you'll find me. You'll find me.
Still in the Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't get away from that.
Well, I encourage everyone to just check out Obi, his website, and his book. And before we finish the podcast, I would just give you the opportunity. What's your final thought, or maybe even what are the takeaways? What we talked about.
Yeah. So I will say there's something that I like to say, which is when life squeezes you and the pressure is on, what you're like on the inside will come out. And the reason I like to say that is because some people might say, why are we talking about belief? Why is it so important? It's because it matters. We're under pressure. There's demands on us as individuals, as leaders. And under pressure, it's actually an opportunity. It's a gift. It's not something to run away from. It's a gift because it really gets us, if we stay aware, it really gets us to think about, who am I? Identity. Who am I really? What am I being called to give to the world, serve the world? And how do I walk into that? And of course, as we've said throughout this podcast, trust the process of, if that's what I'm being called, how I'm being called to show up, what I'm being called to offer to the world, then trust that everything else will align that will enable me to do that. And so when you're squeezed, there's pressure, it's a gift because it's pointing you to who you truly are on the inside.
I second that. It's maybe the best advice I ever received myself. When life squeezes you and something comes out that you don't like, it's easy to be shameful. But that would be missing the invitation, because something subconsciously, something of your blind spot appears. So there's the unique opportunity to do something positive with it. Decrease your blind spot is the outcome. So really, like, don't hide. See it as a gift, like you mentioned.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, and the other thing I really want to echo is what you said. The whole journey is about your identity is leading. Not what you believe, not what you understand, not what you can guarantee repeat. No, it's the unfolding of your identity, and the rest will catch up if you trust the process, but also embrace the process. So it's there's an active
Yeah.
stance in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
I want to thank you, and I want to thank all of our listeners as well who were tuned in, stayed with us to the end, and I truly trust that something in our conversation resonated and maybe even sparked something that's meaningful for your own journey. And I would like to invite you to not just let that thought flow away, but just leave it in the comments. We love to read it. We love to interact with you. And also, there will be a next week. Next week there will be a podcast. And if you can't wait, then just know that you are invited for the Alt Dialogue, the ongoing exclusive peer dialogue for visionary leaders to pioneer and ponder the authentic leadership transformation questions that shape our leadership for us to lead the future together. Just direct message future, and I will make sure you will receive the right information. And I would love to see you there. Thanks for